the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Jerry Keyser.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, January 21st. And I saw today that January 21st is the 21st day of 2021, and at 9:21 and 21 seconds in military time, it's 21:20. There's a lot of 21s today. Oh, that's a bunch of useless information. How's it going? Show number 163, Hammer Down Racing Report, presented by Oakshade Raceway, coming at you live from our Hammer Down Racing Report home studios. I'm Scott Hammer, Jerry Keyser right there, Felix Fafufnik down below, otherwise known as Ron Miller. Do you want to explain that again? Because we had a lot of questions last time you used Felix Fafufnik.
It just goes back to my second grade teacher, and anytime she was feeling a little bit silly and trying to come up with a fictitious name, she always used Felix Fafufnik, and she was one of my favorite teachers of all times, and that name just sort of stuck in here. I don't know.
I like it. It's kind of fitting. Anyway, coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Make sure you follow us, like us on all of those. And you can always listen to us on demand as well. Still on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all of them. Wherever you get your podcasts, that's where we're at. Hope you stuck with last week's show. Last week we did go a little long. We had some scheduling issues.
Boy, is that an understatement.
That was by far our longest show ever. Great show, though. If you missed our conversation with Kenny Wallace and Anton Hernandez, you got to listen to the whole thing to get both, because we had Anton at the beginning and then Kenny at the end there. It was a little late because he had to take his wife out to dinner for her birthday. You know, just little things like that. So
2 hours and 17 minutes. Was that what I saw?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
We were longer than a long feature film. We weren't quite as long as Titanic, though. So I guess you got that. Or some of the Marvel movies. Probably not as exciting either. No superheroes. Tonight on the show, we do have a superhero, Dona Marcoullier, the 2013 Oakshade Raceway late model champion. Also, the 2020, I almost said 2021. He's not the champion yet. The 2020 champion up there at Tri-City. He actually won his first Hell Tour race this past summer as well. So we'll talk to him about that and what he plans to do this year in just a little bit. First, got to thank our sponsors, of course, Oakshade Raceway. We're the fastest meet to race. Still waiting on the schedule for that. No news coming out yet, although there's been some grumblings, some grumblings. I don't know, that's probably the wrong word, but there's been some things on the internet about the Summer Nationals, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Speculation. Is that what it was? I saw a post from one of the tracks up in Michigan that had Oakshade, what you had said, in July. No specific date yet, but so that's the first scheduling thing I've heard for Oakshade Raceway, and that's pretty cool. Although
if one of our listeners can clear that up, it looks like there's going to be 2 swings into Michigan, and while Oakshade's not Michigan, it's just like 2 miles away from it. But it looks like July is going to have Oakshade and Butler, and then Tri-City, Merritt, and maybe Thunderbird. I don't remember for sure in August. And it appears as though the Summer Nationals, probably because of the virus, is getting moved back substantially.
Probably just planning ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
Anticipating things with a slow rollout. I don't know. Hopefully things will return to normal sooner than later. Got to thank Real Geese Silhouette Decoys. Before I get a text reminding me, let's pop this little bad boy on there.
Oh, there it goes.
Most technologically advanced goose and duck decoys ever produced. They're manufactured in the U.S. Check out realgeese.com or give Craig a call, 419-800-8100. Millstream Speedway, of course, I feel bad for poor Scott. He's just having all kinds of bad luck. I saw something on the news which kind of explains what's going on with him. We expected the ground to be frozen by now. which would help, with a solid base for a dirt track in the middle of January. And at this point, I guess Lake Erie is usually like 40% frozen over. And as of, I think it was a day or two ago, I saw this. As of a day or two,
not a bit.
0. That's how warm it's been.
43 degrees today. So, I mean,
yeah.
So
that's why that race.
Historically, January 21st is the coldest day of the year. And here we are at 40 degrees.
Mm-hmm. So February 20th is the rescheduled rescheduled Hangover 2 race at Millstream Speedway. Make sure to follow them on Facebook, Twitter, or millstreamspeedway.net. I mean, once we get racing going there, it's going to be worth the wait, I think. That's all.
I hope so.
Yeah. Big D's Pizza.
Scott, did you have anything on the additional money that was added just recently to the purse?
Friday was the last I knew. We did a little Facebook Live on the Millstream Facebook, and he had some added there. I think he's up to version 5 of the purse, and that's I believe it's posted on millstreamspeedway.net now. So people keep coming forward with more money. I mean, and now you got about a month to keep doing that if you want to throw some more money in the pot. The race keeps getting bigger. The longer he pushes it back, the bigger it'll be.
Yeah, the more cars will be ready to go, and you got guys that put their stuff together for the season yet. So,
Big D's, as I mentioned, we have some big news from them. Breaking news that we will get to a little later. We're not going to reveal that breaking news yet. And it'll also reveal a upcoming guest on the show too about that breaking news. Not tonight, but in the future. So. That's coming up later. Give Big D's a call, 419-547-1444. And don't forget to check out the new Big Nut Burger. And, of course, Ron Miller Race Cars. He's wide awake, yawning because he's so busy working out all day in the shop. Give him a call, 734-856-7223 for race cars, race trucks, parts, safety, equipment, service, everything a racer needs.
Yeah, Ron Miller.
What's going on with our racing roundup? We had some racing action, not close to here, but there was some stuff going on.
Yeah, we're relatively, early in the year, but we do have some big action with the Chili Bowl Nationals taking place last week. As we were on the air Thursday, Christopher Bell picked up the preliminary night for the John Christner trucking qualifying night, with Buddy Kofoid coming in second, those two locking into Saturday night's A main. On Friday night, it was Justin Grant out of Ione, California in the RMS Racing 7X, along with Kyle Cummins finishing 1-2, those two locking into Saturday night's A main. In the A main, it was Justin Grant starting from the pole, but Kyle Larson able to get the jump off on the second attempt for the start and took the lead, never looked back, but he should have. He had a lot of action behind him. Grant stayed close for a long time. Christopher Bell able to get by and start to challenge Larson late, but unfortunately the cushion biting Bell, getting upside down. Pretty nasty, able to walk away. But
that cushion was very unforgiving. I mean, it was. Larson had some issues with it too, coming off of 4 a couple times.
Justin Grant did as well, trying to get that last run on it. It was fun to watch, but some guys were able to make a run out of it. Tanner Thorson having a great run, finishing third. Cannon McIntosh after a great week, winning his prelim night, finishing fourth. Darren Pittman, how about this? Coming from B main number 2, started 20th in the A main, finished 5th. Darren Pittman, despite slowing down racing, definitely not slowing down on the track when he's out there. So great job, great run for Darren. Also in action, late models out in Arizona, the Wild West Shootout. Tyler Erb won Friday and Saturday show. Rusty Schlenk found a little something during those nights. Finished 6th on Friday, was able to get a little bit better. Let's see here. Saturday night, Herb won again, but he was trading slide jobs with Jonathan Davenport, but then Davenport was the man on Sunday's finality. He won $25,000 for the win on Sunday, along with a $10,000 bonus for winning 3 of the 6 races, and another $3,000 for winning the Wild West Shootout 6-Race Series Championship. Rusty Schlenk finished 6th. Great job for Rusty. World of Outlaw Morton Building late models in action. Kyle Bronson won Thursday night's 10,000 season opener at Volusia Speedway Park in Florida. Friday's action of Volusia was rained out. Kyle Strickler held off Scott Bloomquist to win his first World Outlaws victory in just his 11th start on Saturday. Next up, Volusia Speedway Park back in action. February 10th, through the 13th, and that will do it for this week's Racing Roundup.
All right, then. Good job.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I'm sorry. I'm preoccupied over here.
No, not you.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're talking about the Chili Bowl. I did want to talk about Gary Taylor, who does run a lot of races out here in the Midwest, sprint car wise, non-wing, drove for Mark Harry for a number of years. He's actually going to be running Joe Seeling's number 97 out of Beaver Dam, Ohio in the 2021 season. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're going to make Georgia and Florida this year, but once they get to running here up north, probably a lot of Attica and Fremont shows, I would imagine, as in the past for the Sealing Racing team. So congratulations to GT for picking up that good ride, and hope to see him in Victory Lane in 2021.
Yes. Excellent. All right.
Like I said, it's not that we suck. We're just organic.
Is that it? Making sure I sent the right link to Dona here to join us.
Oops.
Yeah. Well. He's right there. He's it's not going to be like last week where we got to wait till 8 o'clock. I don't think it's his wife's birthday. So we'll get to him momentarily. Mention again, you want to mention the Millstream rescheduling because that happened on Friday. They decided that that wasn't going to happen because it was supposed to be this past Saturday rescheduled. So I'll let Jerry talk about that.
Hangover 2 rescheduled at Millstream Speedway. Now going to be ran on Saturday, February 20th, 2021. Hoping either the ground gets good and frozen or we actually get a string of really good weather and get dried out by then. Lots of big extra donations to the race. Champagne stocks will be running for $750 to win. Moonshine stocks $450 to win. Whiskey stocks $325 to win. Looked like $75 to start for the champagne stocks, $70 to start for the moonshine, and $30 to start for the whiskey stocks. So, guys, if you got race cars, you've been dying to race. I know a lot of guys didn't get to race last year at all. This would be a good chance to shake down your car and see what Millstream Speedway is going to be about for the 2021 season. If you need any details, make sure you head to millstreamspeedway.net. Race registration links there, rules, the whole 9 yards. Make sure you come out in Saturday, February 20th, 2021. Pit gates will open at 9 a.m. Hot laps at 11, along with the main gate opening at 11 a.m. $12 general admission, $5 for kids 6 to 12. Under 5 and under are free to get in. Again, pit pass is $30. Make sure you come out, help support Scott Warner and everybody out there at Millstream, bringing this Millstream Speedway back to life in 2021.
Yes. All right. Still waiting for Dona to connect here. I just threw out the number. We may do a phone interview here if he has some issues connecting.
What was that champagne class to win again?
$750 as of right now. That's as of Friday. That's you still got a month to go. If you got another, you never know who's going to pop up to want to put some more money in there. So if you own a business, want to do some more sponsorship for this race, get with Scott Warner, millstreamscott@gmail.com, or if you look him up on Facebook, easy to get a hold of. I'm sure he'd be willing to take your money and add it into the purse for the Hangover 2 on February 20th.
Yeah, Dan Dipman better be careful.
Dan Dipman.
Will be no replay.
Dipman Motorsports, one of the many businesses that have donated to add some money to the purse up there for the Hangover 2. So thank you to Dipman Motorsports. Dipman Motorsports also helping out our buddy over there, Scott Hammer, getting him ready for the 2021 season. Looking forward to a great show at Millstream. We'll see if the Flying Fossil can
Fossil
can regain his crown in the champagne stocks.
And that whole show, we got Dona on the phone here. We'll bring him up in just a moment. That's I was preoccupied with that, but that show at Millstream is, the payout it's good for even a regular summer show. So it's probably one of the biggest winter shows in Northwest Ohio you'll ever see.
I would have to think so.
Really, there's no
probably
shows
in the country.
All right. Well, let's bring up Dona. Dona, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, Scott.
All right, we're working. I like it when things work. Jerry Keyser here with me, and Felix Fafufnik, otherwise known as Ron Miller, here. And Dona, congratulations on a successful 2020 season, even though it was kind of weird with COVID.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really actually raced more than I wanted to because once we got going there, actually, we didn't have one rain out throughout the whole summer.
Yeah, we had that problem down here. We were actually talking last fall that we ran more races last year than we did the previous year because of all the rainouts the previous year in 2019. So COVID did not mess with racing too much.
No, I mean, I'm the kind of guy who kind of likes to run. I wouldn't say I'm getting older nowadays, but just because of time. But I like to run like 15 to 20 nights a year just to keep my engines fresh and stuff. But like I think last year we raced 22 times and we had some good runs. I mean, I didn't get a chance to get south like I always do. I mean, everybody knows my love for Oakshade and Attica and those kind of places. But with Mike Blackner, putting out the money at our local racetrack, it's hard not to travel. So.
Yeah, and so people around here, I know you're from Houghton Lake, Michigan, and you race primarily in Michigan, but you used to be a regular at Oakshade Raceway. We'd see you down here in Northwest Ohio back in the early 2010s, 2013 champion there. Very successful, and you're continuing your success up there at Tri-City with the championship this year. How many championships do you have now?
Not as many as you think, because I've never been a points guy. Like all the years ago, like racing with Chris Patterson and kind of growing up, next to him and watching him. But he always used to tell me, I know Oakshade, you can run for some money at some points for Oakshade, but back in the day, he says, why spend all your time committing to a racetrack where you can only pick off $1,500 or $2,000 possibly for a points deal when you can go 3 hours down the road and win $5,000. That's kind of one of the deals I've never really committed to any point stuff, but I think I got 5 total. I got 2 ethanol. I think I got 2 up at the old Cherry Speedway back in my kids' days. And then, of course, this year at Tri-City because we finally, with Mike buying a place, and hell, I mean, heck, I think the least amount he paid for a weekly show was $3,500 to win. So only being, 100 miles from the house, it's hard not to go to.
Yeah, I mean, how far of a drive is that from Houghton Lake to Oakshade for because you made that haul just about every week during that championship?
Yeah, one thing good about it is, Christy and those guys, they run a good show, so we could be on the road by, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. But it's almost in a total home. It's about 4 hours.
Okay, I guess that's not as bad as I thought. Houghton Lake, that's way the hell up there.
Yeah, about 3.5 on a pickup, but it worked out pretty good because actually back then, like in that 12, 13 era, I drove for a guy out of Lansing, so we would just drive to Lansing, meet at his shop, and then we'd drive to Oakshade and then drive back to Lansing, which was only about an hour and a half. But I don't know. I've always had a love for that place. I mean, I can remember back in, I think it was 2007, when I kind of piggybacked with Chris Patterson, his yellow banana back in the day, and the old shoulder home he had. But I can remember back in 2007, we went down there with an old rocket car, with a steel block, 22 headed motor. First time ever being there. And I don't remember who I passed. It was Herb or Kai Harper. I don't remember who was running back in those days. Yep. But we drove past all those guys. The first time ever going to Oakshade, we won the very first time going there. And the people knew what we had for a race car. They kind of laughed because we didn't have gas shocks. We just had the old bag Pro Shocks, steel block motor. I mean, it wasn't even a dry sun motor. And we went down there and won. It was kind of crazy.
How long have you been driving late models? When did you start?
03 was basically my first year. My dad bought a new car, let's say like an 02, and then he had an old 97 Masterbuilt that he used forever. And basically when he gave me the car, I got uppers, lowers, a bare frame, and a used body. And we spent all summer just putting that car together. I mean, we still laugh about that race car because, I mean, it had a 3-speed tranny, it had a steel rear end, steel bird cages. I mean, it didn't even have power steering. It had a manual rack. That was my first late model. So.
Wow.
Dona, I don't remember. Did you ever venture down to Butler when they were running the late models?
No, I never did. Nothing against. I've actually only been to Butler once in my life, and probably should have just put the car back in the trailer and went home. But no. But Butler. But I remember we had the ethanol show 2 or 3 years ago. We went down and they were pulling rocks about the size of your head out of that racetrack, and I just couldn't believe that somebody would put their race cars to that use. So
reason I was wondering, they've got a Summer Nationals race again this year. And wondering if you were thinking about heading down to some of those.
Yeah, actually, me and Bob Patrick, basically, we're partners in our race team now, and we were kind of talking about that again. But I'll be honest, Ron, just because of how Butler is, I know I will personally.
Yes,
I'm not trying to ruin it and not lose racing, but I'll end up skipping it again. I'll go to Hartford. I'll go to I-96, Oakshade, Tri-City, Thunderbird. I'll go to all those Summer National shows, but I hate to say it, but with Butler being so full of rocks, and it's my personal opinion, and I do apologize to that owner. It's just something I don't endure tearing my cars up, put it that way.
So how big was
the one thing you got to hand Butler is that it's consistent.
How big was that win, the Summer National win that you got up there at Tri-City? I found that hard to believe when I heard that you won, that was your first Summer National win. But I guess once you think about it, then you're like, well, I guess there are a lot of big names that do run all those shows. But Dona, man, he's pretty dominant. So, how huge was that?
Well, that was a career moment for me. We never had the funds to travel, and we just be able to have that kind of show, come to that kind of racetrack where I've been really good at it, and just kind of show you what we're meant of. We got good cars now. We got good motors. That was a career win. I've won, I think, 6 wood ticks. I've won a handful of LMS shows and ethanol shows, and just that one was, that's, as of right now in my career, that's my number one. So that's just because it's Summer Nationals. You got the travelers, and just the respect that you get from those guys, from Heckeness and Shirley and Fager, and it's not just a win at your home racetrack. When those guys come up and congratulate you, it means something. That means you've worked hard, and everything we've done in the last 20 years to get to this point, it's worth it. And I would love to race more. I would have loved to do some speed week stuff, but it's just not affordable in my pocket, and for what I do for a living, and we're just so busy right now, it's just so hard to get away from the shop.
So is there any race that you could win that would top that?
Probably the birthday race. Just because it's Oakshade. I'm not saying I ever get lucky enough to do an Outlaw or a Lucas race, and that's kind of out of my league, but you don't know if you don't try. But if I can come down this year and win a birthday race, just being at Oakshade, and we've had some good runs during that race, and just haven't played out our cards. I think the one year we sat fast time, won our heat race, and one mistake on the very first lap. I bottomed out and hit the big hole and coming out of 2, and I come out of 2 running 3rd, and I ran 4th, and they never really left me. So I knew we had a good car. It was just that one mistake. And everybody knows when those guys come to town, you've got to have your whole package, and you've got to qualify good. You got to heat race good. You got to have the right tire in the car. And it's just, those guys are on go. They do it for a living, and they sure know a lot more than I do. So
competition is definitely high for that one. Let's hope that we have a birthday race this year. Last year getting canceled because of COVID. Jerry, did you have do you have a question, Jerry?
Yeah, Dona, you talked about running with Chris Patterson a lot early on in your career. How crucial was some of the advice that you picked up and things you picked up from him along the years to your success now?
Oh, I love Chris. I don't see him as much as I used to because he doesn't race as much, but he was really like my mentor growing up. This local champion, and just how many times you drive down 127 and you see a shop and there's yellow hauler sitting there, and you wish you could get to that point in racing. And then, I've always looked up at Chris, and he's a great guy, and he's got a great family, his wife, his daughters, his kids. I haven't seen Junior at the racetrack. I don't think he ever raced at all last year, but I don't know. Chris has always been a hell of a guy. Just as a person, and back in those days, even now, he would give you a shirt. I can remember that night that we went down and with him, and we won that night. He wouldn't even take any diesel money or nothing from me. He's just that kind of a guy. So,
yeah, we had a good conversation with him a couple of years ago. We had him and Shane Yoder on.
Same night. Yeah, that show was fun.
Yeah, that was real good.
So Les tells me you had an incident with Rusty Schlenk and said to ask you about Rusty's glasses. What is this?
Oh, yeah, I don't bring up drama like that. It's actually between Rusty and me.
I don't know the story. I'm just asking. I don't know.
It was just a racing deal back in my championship year. I just remember I was out on the racetrack getting my picture taken for a win, and there was a little brawl back at the trailer, and Donnie and Rusty and his crew were all having a good time, put it that way, I guess. But it's you know me, I'm not a drama guy. I mean, that's back in the past. I mean, it was just a hard racing, you know, and we were kids back then too. You know, I hate to say it, 8 years ago, but we were both kids. You know how it goes. And we both raced hard. I mean, I'm not a guy to hold anything back. It was just good hard racing, and I guess you can say Donnie, my dad, and like I know Ron knows my dad, and he's kind of like the old school guy when they come out of the '80s and stuff like that. They didn't take no crap. You know, it's kind of a little different. But
Ron's kind of like that. He holds his own. Don't you, Ron? He's all quiet now.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you go throwing me under the bus there, Hammer. Jeez.
So Dona, who would you do you have like anybody that you consider like a rival at this point? Is there any racers that you know is like, all right, I got to beat this guy this week? Anyone like that?
I mean, it's really. I treat everybody like that. I mean, to this day, I mean, my goal is when you get to the racetrack is to win, you must make the show. So it doesn't matter if it's a local show or a regular Saturday night or Summer Nationals. I mean, you can't win unless you don't make the show. And I've never been that way with people. I mean, I've never, like when a certain hauler or trailer pulls in the pits, like, I mean, I've never got myself worked up like that because we all work just as hard. I mean, you've got, you know, up here in Michigan, you got Brandon, you've got, now that Travis is getting faster. I mean, he's got good equipment getting better. I mean, he's coming along. You know, Rusty, I mean, all the Oakshade guys, Missler, I mean, all those guys all have good stuff. I mean, it's not just one person. I mean, you've got to, I mean, everywhere you go, you got to have your stuff on go, and you got to make sure your stuff's right.
Okay.
You raced with Spanky quite a bit this year, didn't you?
Like the one guy I wasn't going to bring up.
I believe Ron is referring to Eric Spangler, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
he's I mean, Eric in my race team is Eric. I mean, you get him out of the racetrack, he's a hell of a nice guy. He's kind of that old mentality where he puts his helmet on. We've had some battles and some not too good words here back and forth and some cool race cars. I ain't gonna lie, but you know me. If anybody knows me, I'm not like that. I mean, I race week to week. I don't hold grudges. This stuff costs way too much money to tear it up. I mean, there's no reason.
Yep.
To do it on purpose. So,
okay. How excited were you when they announced that Tri-City Merit Speedway Challenge Series with the money, you know, closer to home for you?
I mean, it's like a godsend. I mean, honestly, because like Merit's literally 15 miles from the house. I mean, Tri-City's just over an hour. It's like 90 miles. And I was kind of worried when Mike bought Tri-City because I mean, you just don't know it, the unknowns. I mean, I know Tri-City was always the Michigan racetrack where they had the American racers, and you know they kind of had their own rules, which were really good on hard tires. But if it wasn't for Mike doing what he does, I mean, I think last year he put up 4 $10,000 to win shows. You know, he paid $10,000 to win his points, and it's. I mean, without a man like that, I mean, I give him a lot of credit for sticking his neck out. I mean, everybody knows how hard it is, especially now with the whole COVID stuff going on. And to do what he's done and to promote what he's done and the race for the money that he's allowed us to race for, it's I mean, it's kind of nice because I can go, heck, I can fill the total room up and go.
How,
you know, 2 weeks to race.
And he did this, as you said, with COVID going on. And I don't know, were there restrictions up there as well as far as number of fans that he was allowed to have?
No, like the first really couple nights, we kind of had a restriction on the fan for a bit. But honestly, once he got going, I mean, I can remember one night at Motor Speedway, we had over 200 race cars in the pits and unlimited. I mean, there really was no social distancing, or I mean, it was just kind of this respect. You know, if you're afraid of getting sick, don't go. You know, and if you had any issues, just don't go socialize like you usually do. But I mean, he never. It's about the only place in normalcy all summer. You know, where you could go somewhere and not have to worry about masks or social distancing or just the whole COVID stuff. I mean, And I mean, kudos to him, and and the counties that we live in, Misaki County, Roscommon County, and I think Midland County is, supposed to allow him to do that. But it really wasn't that bad. I mean, I know I didn't get a chance to get to Oakshade if they with their fan stuff or what Christy was allowed to do, and but it's still like a bottom line. It's still a business to them. So yeah, it's disheartening to see racetracks close, or you've got to have fans to pay the bills, and that's just not. I mean, you have to have that. So.
How close
Scott,
is
Scott, those tracks had pretty much the same restrictions as the Upper Peninsula, so they were pretty much open and very few grandstand restrictions. Nothing like some of the tracks down in the southern part of the state.
Now, go ahead, Dona.
Go ahead. No, you're go ahead.
I was just going to ask how close is Houghton Lake to the UP? I mean, isn't that right up there?
We're probably, I would say, probably like an hour and a half from the bridge. I mean, so it's not too bad to ride. So I mean, we're probably 100 miles, 150 miles.
All right, so you don't. I guess you're far enough away. You don't have that Yooper kind of accent at all. I mean, you could be from Ohio for all I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, we're at northern lower Michigan. We always say, but no, it's a good town. I mean, we came here in the '90s. I'm originally from like the Oscoda, Dallas areas where I was really from for my family, but we came over here in the early '90s. Actually, the reason why we came to Houghton Lake is because it was close to Motor Speedway, and with my dad, that was what he wanted to do. So that's why we moved to Houghton Lake, because it was close to Motor Speedway.
Nice. So this summer, you got plans yet for 2021? Have you even thought about it? Where are you at with that?
Just really waiting on schedules. I see Tri-City Merit release theirs for their weekly stuff, but I haven't seen any of the challenge stuff for Summer Nationals. But probably be the same, honestly. And if I can run 20, 25 nights, that's really what I want to do. I mean, we've got some really good race cars now. We kind of got hooked up with Black Diamond there the last couple of years, and we got ourselves some newer cars. We got last year's 19 car. We just went down in November and picked up a 2020 car, one of EPJ's personal cars, and we've got two newer wide bore Matt Ryan motors, and we've got the stuff to do it. It's just hopefully we can do it again. I mean, if we can have some, good luck, and I don't know, excited. I mean, I'd like to get back to Oakshade, Attica, and even some Illinois stuff again, because I went to Fairbury a couple years ago and kind of didn't really have the best of luck, and I'd like to go redeem myself, but I'd like to be able to. I like racing with those guys too, but it's just it's one of those deals to go to Fairbury. It's 7 hours, so it's just not. It's hard to pass up the money.
Dona, doing that kind of traveling would pretty much preclude you from racing for another championship. You're okay with that?
I'm gonna.
Did you miss the part about Chris Patterson? It's not worth it.
No, exactly. But no, probably the Challenge Series for sure. We'll commit to that because, like I said, they just pay really good money for those shows, and they pay $10,000 to win the points. We'll commit to that, and realistically, we'll just go from there and kind of see where things go. I mean, it's one of those deals. It's hard to run these cars nowadays for $1,000 to win or $1,200 to win just because of how much they cost and what it costs to go down the roads. We try to play the game where, we try to. You're never going to make money doing this stuff, but you just don't want to lose everything. You try to run. My goal is to always make the show, and as long as you can make back kind of what you spent for the weekend, that way you get some money for next week. And that's kind of how I was raised doing. We never had the newest tires, the newest engines, the newest cars. I mean, we're so blessed right now to have people behind us and sponsors, and it's crazy. I never thought in 20 years, standing in my shop right now looking at these race cars, that I would have 2 cars and 3 motors and a stacker trailer, and but we worked hard. It's everybody knows how much time and devotion it takes in racing. It's just I'm just glad to have all the help I have. My dad, Sarah, my girlfriend. She's a great partner in life. She supports me 100% in what we do, and it's just still got to have that 9 to 5, of course. But it's just just blessed. I'm really blessed for everything that's happened in my life.
How long did it take for you to blow through that $10,000 that you won that one week?
We still got it. I'm one of those guys where I mean, I don't spend it unless we have to, and I mean, and Ron knows this from all years of racing. I could actually to go into the winter of 2020 having money for an engine freshen, or like we got to update a race car. Like I sold my old Heckiness car, and for a little bit it cost to update. The windows kind of shows. It's just I don't know. It's just I'm a penny pincher, put it that way. So I don't know how many years. I don't know how many years of going to Oakshade or racetracks on used tires. And I'm actually looking up on the wall. The left rear tire and wheel that I won that first night in 07, I never unmounted. I actually mounted on the wall in my shop as a trophy.
Nice.
It's kind of like looking at the back of that old tire and wheel. It's not even an inner V-lock. It's an old rib tire, and who knows where it came from. I don't know if it came from Chris or it was, put it this way, it was wore out when it went on the race car. So it's still sitting up there. So.
So what's in the future for Dona? I mean, is this you just going to stick with the dirt late models? Any plans to do anything else? Maybe a couple years down the road, or you just you happy with where you're at?
Honestly, I am happy where I'm at. I mean, for what it takes to go to the next level, I just don't have the pocketbooks for it. I mean, not going to lie, like kind of jealous of Rusty. He's getting to do what he loves and race, build cars, and like any racer. I mean, that's their dream to do it and make it, and I applaud him for doing it. I mean, I know how much work it takes, but just being where I'm at, I got a great job, I got a great boss. I got a great career at the salvage yard. It's been awesome, and I'm okay with just running 20-25 nights. And I hate to say it, but I'm not old. But it's when you do it for so long, you kind of it's nice to go to the beach every once in a while. I take a weekend off and go up north, or support. My Sarah supports me so much. I mean, I don't. It doesn't bother me taking a weekend off and doing something she wants to do. So I'm pretty content where I'm at, honestly. So,
okay. If the sponsorship money presented itself to you to run, with the Lucas Oil Series or the World of Outlaws, would that be even something you'd consider? I mean, or would that be too much because you have your job?
No, I mean, in a heartbeat. Okay. If somebody came to me and say, "I'm going to pay you, your wages, what you want for a year, plus you get to go, and here's the money to go do it." Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to take a chance to try it? I mean, it's every racer's dream to go. I mean, even if you didn't have the best year, but at least you got the experience, and bottom line, you still got bills at home, you still got your house payment, and how that goes. You got to be responsible. But if somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, I got $500,000, let's go on a tour," it's gonna be a hard time to tell my boss that I'm not gonna come to work on Monday. So,
Well, and that could develop into something else if you're successful, and I don't see why you wouldn't be. So,
I love racing. I mean, my dad's been a huge influence. I mean, he's at the shop every night. I mean, not in the wintertime, we always slow down a little bit, but like in the race shop, just because it's I'm not racing. But like my dad in the summertime, he's here every night. I mean, without him, really just teaching me all this. I know the day of age of the late models have changed, and a lot of people make fun of me because still to this day in 2021, I still don't even own a spring smasher. So I am a tape measure and scales guy, and I've had some great luck and success with it. And if anybody asked me what my loads were, I couldn't even tell you. So that's how I am. So
I think Ron appreciates that.
Yeah.
He seems kind of old school.
That's just how I grew up, and that's just what my dad taught us. And I've won a lot of races with a tape measure, and it's funny. Like people come over here to buy tires, or and they look around and where's your smasher? I'd rather take that $3,500 and invest it into my engine or my race car and make it faster that way than worrying about load numbers and smash numbers. I mean, yeah, it might hinder me a little bit as a notebook, maybe, possibly, but if you know what you're doing with a tape measure and if you got good notes, and for the thousands of hours I spent on scales, you can win a lot of races that way too. So.
Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to before we let you go here?
Yeah, biggest one is Harold Patrick Plumbing. I mean, last year he came on board here and bought us a fairly new black diamond and bought us an engine, and if it wasn't for Harold, I mean, we wouldn't have the equipment we have. But we've got Dennis Craft Construction, Randall's Collision, Jimmy's Collision, Todd Roswell Trucking, All Star Quick Car, KBC Graphics, Shocks by Jimmy. Got some new guys this year. I got an excavating company, S&J Excavating out of Roscommon. They're coming on board this year to help us out. And Black Diamond, DJ, Ronnie Stuckey at Black Diamond. When you talk to those guys, we went to Ronnie at the Stuckey shop there in November, and he spent the day with us. You never would have known. I never expected that, put it that way. He's a hell of a guy, and just I'm glad that we got to partner up with him and really make his race cars hopefully go. So, which we've had some really good success last year. Like I said, we picked off 2 10,000s and we won a couple 5s. And honestly, win the money ratio last year was honestly the best year in my career. We've had years where we won more races, but for the actual caliber and the money part of it, last year was honestly my best year in a race car.
Now, you said you weren't going to run for a championship this year, but is there any chance that, if things fall into place, that you may try to defend the Tri-City Championship for 2021?
Yeah, being close to home, and realistically, I think the last 3 or 4 years I ran at Tri-City just because we never committed all year. Because it's one of those deals, they paid more money on Friday nights at other racetracks and we went to other places. But, there's been years where we would run 8 or 9 nights out of 15 nights, and we would still be in the top 5 in points there. But Tri-City for sure. We'll try to defend that. We'll try to, knock Travis off this championship and try to get that All-Star win. All-Star for the Challenge Series for Blackbeard, and kind of just, I don't know. I'm just excited. I wish we're actually leaving Tuesday to go to Florida for Speedway, and we'll go spend a week down there to Tampa and stuff, kind of get some warm weather. And pretty much when you get home from there, from all the smells and all the racing stuff, you can't wait to go racing. So.
Well, why don't you bring the car with you?
I got one done ready to go, but I don't know. It's just everybody knows what it takes to go run East Bay, and with those guys, and the cost of tires and diesel fuel. I'm okay. We're sitting good.
You're tempted, though. I can tell.
Dona, I completely understand.
I'm the lap guy. I've got one engine that's got 400 laps on it. I got another one with 600 on it, and we got another one coming in March that'll be a new motor. And we're sitting good on laps. Our car's got low laps on it, and like I said, if you can prepare to go into a racetrack, and I don't know. I guess I'm just that way. If you're not prepared, you're not going to have a chance to win. And that's, I don't know. I'm excited. I really am excited. Like last year, I know with the whole COVID stuff, basically the one race I think I ran second 5 or 6 times in my life I didn't go to last year was the Barney Oldfield. That's like one race that's pinned me my whole life. I kid you not. I ran second. I bet you the last 5 years I've been to that race, and I just can't win it. But hopefully I can get back to there. I always love Oak Shade. Listen to everybody. I listen to you guys, and Ron. How many years you go to a driver's meeting and Ron's trailer is parked right there next to him. I just appreciate all you guys.
Yeah.
All of it. So.
Well, we hope to see you back at Oakshade at least sometime this summer. Anywhere in Northwest Ohio would be pretty cool. So, good luck at Tri-City Merritt. And I don't know if you know this, but we have this thing. It's not 100%, but the majority of the time we have someone on our show, the next race that they are in, they end up winning. So, come March, April, May, whenever your first race is, just remember that. Let us know how you did.
So pick a good one.
Sounds like fun. Yeah, I think our first race is going to be the first weekend of April. I think we're going to head over to Winston Speedway. They got the player hater shootout deal. I guess it's a 2-day show. We're going to go support those guys, and hopefully it works out. I've always, I always try to get around and try to support every racetrack, and and all the promoters, they work just as hard as we do to make this stuff go, and looking forward to that. 2021, I hope it's better, and like I said, I'm a day-to-day guy. I've always been really humble and stuff like that, but you can always have a bad night. But as long as we keep our stuff fresh, we should be good.
All right. Well, you better get that win. We'll hold you to it. Now we're putting pressure on you.
Oh, thanks, sure. But no, I said we're excited. I mean, we've got like staying out in the garage right now, just kind of looking at all this stuff. Makes you want to go get the truck out of storage and get the trailer out and go put it in the truck and go somewhere.
You're gonna end up running down in Florida. Heck with all that diesel money. All right, Dona. Congratulations on the championship, and good luck. And here's to your continued success in 2021.
All right, sounds good, guys. It's nice talking to you, and hopefully we can see you. Hopefully for the Barney, your birthday. I really hope that stuff goes back to normal. Hopefully we can see you guys again.
All right, cool. See you, Dona.
Have a good night, Dona.
Right, thanks, Dona. Yep. Bye.
Bye. Dona Marcoullier, your 2020 Tri-City Speedway champ. Very, very successful. Have you ever beat Dona, Ron?
Well, I don't know. That goes back a long ways. Ever, man.
Okay, he's pretty fast. He's a pretty good guy. Pretty good driver there.
He's a real good racer.
I've been lucky to see him compete a couple times down at Waynesfield. We had a Hell Tour race back in I believe it was 2011, and then I've seen him, I believe, once in a modified, if I remember correctly. Like, I had to go back through my notes, but yeah, he's definitely fun to watch, and definitely one of those guys you want to keep an eye on.
Coming up a little bit later, we are going to have the Big D's Pizza Wheel. And I want to add to that, because we came up with that name for it. The Big D's Pizza Wheel of Death. It sounds more dramatic than of pizza. Big D's Pizza Wheel of Pizza. We'll go with that. All right, because we're not going to kill prizes. A prize, okay, something. Where was I going? Oh, I was going with this because I need some help with the prep. I didn't prep a how many for this week, so I don't know what this week's how many is going to be. So while we go through the news here, if anybody has any suggestions on what the how many should be for next week, go ahead and put it in the Facebook Live comments if you're listening to us on demand on iHeart or Google or whatever podcast platform. Then
seems like there's a couple of football games this week, Scott.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. We could probably do that as a backup if we don't get any suggestions. Some racing news here. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is set to open its season tomorrow and Saturday at Altech Raceway in Lake City, Florida. The series moves to East Bay Raceway Park Monday through Saturday, the 25th through the 30th. And all of Florida Speed Week's events will be streamed for free on the Lucas Oil Racing TV. That was actually something cool about the Chili Bowl. They streamed the MAV TV broadcast on their Facebook Live, which was nice. It there for those of us that don't have MAV TV.
Yep, I don't have it all. I have a version of it on my smart TV, but it doesn't play the live stuff. So I actually streamed it through a Chromecast from my phone from the Lucas Oil TV app, which was pretty cool as well.
Did they do the one thing I didn't totally understand the driver introductions, which they were just kind of talking while the driver introductions were going on the MAV TV broadcast. And I thought I remember reading that Flow TV had the rights to the driver intros or something. I don't. There was a very strange deal that what was going on. I was like, I thought they're doing the driver intros. Put them on. What was that, Jerry?
I thought Flow only had up until the C main.
That's what I thought too.
Everything else from there.
I just thought it was really weird that they weren't doing the driver intros or anything or covering that. They're just talking about other crap. And I'm like, hello, what's going on here? I want to know who's in it because I missed most of the alphabet soup during the day. But anyway, I digress. The inaugural Huset's Speedway USAC Nationals featuring 3 consecutive nights of USAC AMSOIL National 410 Sprint Car and USAC NOS Energy Drink National Midget double headers, paying a $200,000 purse, will be held September 10th through the 12th. It culminates in a $20,000 to win, actually multiple $20,000 to win features for the midgets and the sprint cars, 2, 1 for each. I made that a lot more complicated than it needed to be.
Well, that's interesting date-wise because just 2 weeks later, they're going to be back in Ohio for another big show for the 4 Crown Nationals, which I've seen they're actually going to have complete shows on Friday and Saturday for the USAC midgets. So that's going to be something new in 2021.
So this event at Huset's is the highest paying event on the USAC schedule. Let's do that breaking news now. Thanks for that graphic there. We got some breaking news. Very exciting. It's not official yet because we got to do this. Boom. So some breaking news out of the Big D's Pizza world, and it is not what this week's How Many is going to be as of yet. Big D's Pizza has actually they didn't make the announcement, but Devin Moran and I can never pronounce Ty's last name there. How do you pronounce his name, Jerry? Tarog Racing.
Torog.
Anyways, they welcome Big D's Pizza as an addition. I suppose I could have just asked Dean. Additional associate sponsor on the number 9 car. Right there. Look at that back quarter panel, the rear quarter panel there. Some Big D's Pizza sporting there. The number 9.
Huge one there.
Of Devin Moran. It's making its debut, as a matter of fact, at the Lucas Oil Series race at Alltech this weekend, tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So looks like they're loading it up in that picture, ready to go down. Hopefully there's not snow on the ground down there.
Well, there was some video of them hauling it last night, so I believe they're down there already.
Well, all right, so pretty cool. Congratulations to Dean Henry, Big D's Pizza, on that. Dean Henry is a great guy, supporting all forms of racing.
When you said breaking news, when you said breaking news, I was really hoping that he was going to be opening a store here in the Toledo area.
I thought there was one coming to Lima.
News.
Well, maybe that's coming. I don't know. No, I forgot. Oh, we're gonna have. I believe we'll be talking to Devin Moran, not next week, but in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight, he should be joining us for the show because he's gonna be busy next week racing. So, Grammy Award-winning singer Pitbull, who is Felix Fafufnik's favorite performing artist. I guess he's a singer. I don't know. I guess he won a Grammy Award, so he would be a singer. I guess there's different definitions of that. Anyways, I lost my spot. Pitbull has become co-owner of Trackhouse Racing, which is set to debut in the NASCAR Cup Series during the upcoming Daytona 500, which is on Valentine's Day, February 14th. The number 99 Chevrolet Camaro, which will be co-owned by Pitbull and Justin Marks, will be piloted by Daniel Suarez this year. So there's that. Lots of big names getting involved in NASCAR this year. Michael Jordan. Then there's some people coming back, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Before we get to that, did you hear about this Taylor Gray incident? 15-year-old ARCA driver testing at Daytona.
Doing his test and getting a license to be able to run.
Is that what the test was for? Was to be able to get the And this is what he did. Are you ready? This is what he did right here. Yeah. So he brought his phone in. And I believe that was on Snapchat or something like that. And recorded video and driving 200 miles an hour at Daytona. What the hell? My phone out here. Look at me. Not the smartest thing to do, especially when it's right in the rule book. You are not allowed to have an electronic computing device, or I think it even names phone on your person when you're in the car. And that goes back to, I think, was it Keselowski who did that? And that was under like a red flag, I believe. That was a totally different situation.
Yeah, this was ARCA. Maybe that was ARCA.
Owned by NASCAR.
Maybe they haven't invented that rule in ARCA yet.
No, it's in ARCA. That rule's there. He actually.
Oh, okay.
When was that? That was like a week or so ago. Do you know when that was, Jerry?
I do not. I believe it was last weekend, but I won't swear to it.
Yeah. Well, anyways, just this week, he was fined $1,000, which seems like a pretty small fine. Unless you're a 15-year-old kid, that $1,000 is a lot. He's been placed on probation for the remainder of the 2021 season by ARCA. So, all in all, I think he got off pretty easy there. I mean, if you use an R word, then you're getting all kinds of trouble. But if you get your phone out and doing something that's going to kill somebody or possibly could, then, well, I don't know.
You get a free pass, sort of.
$1,000 isn't free, but anyway, moving on. We talked about this a little bit earlier. The Summer Nationals have been releasing some dates for the Hell Tour, and it does sound like it's going to be later this year, kind of like they did last year. Usually it's June through the middle of July when wrapping up the birthday race at Oakshade. This year it sounds like they're going to do kind of what they did last year, start late and go through August. Butler Motor Speedway is going to host the Hell Tour with a show on August 18th. I believe this would be the second leg. I don't know if they have one during the first leg. So this is all,
Scott.
We don't have the official schedule yet. What hit you?
It just hit me that the birthday race is all. Excuse me. The birthday race is always in July, and maybe that's why Oakshade opted to go with a July date instead of the finale in August.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything on that.
Yeah.
So from what I've seen as of right now, and as I mentioned, the Hell Tour has not released their entire schedule officially, but Butler looks to have a show on August 18th, I-96 on the 18th of August.
Hey, just want to give a shout out again to Dean Henry. I see he's talking about the boys down at All-Tech Speedway practicing right now. According to my race pass, Devin Moran quickest so far practice 17.361 around All-Tech Raceway. Kyle Larson with a 17.530. Guys down there
faster than Kyle?
He's right now faster than Kyle Larson. But this is just practice, just shaking down cars, obviously. But yeah, right now Devin Moran fastest in practice. So congratulations, Dean.
It's the Big D sponsorship.
That's right.
Extra speed on that car. Thor Sports racing officials have announced the organization is parting ways with Ford after 3 years together. In the last 3 seasons, the team captured its third NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Drivers' Championship, a regular season title, and Ford's 100th Series win, in addition to 10 wins, 85 top 5s, 163 top 10s, 12 pole awards, and 1,107 laps led. The team has not announced a manufacturer or driver roster for the upcoming NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season, which is set to begin February 12th at Daytona International.
Honda.
Honda? Is Honda coming to? They were Toyota before.
Right.
Touareg.
Well, they were.
Thanks, Dean.
They were Chevrolet a long time ago.
Ty Touareg, Devin Moran's team. So
Yep.
we're going with that. Where was I? Daytona. No. Jamie McMurray will return to NASCAR Cup Series for the 63rd running of the Daytona 500, thanks to a partnership between Chip Ganassi Racing and Spire Motorsports. He just retired, 2019? Wasn't that long ago. So he's one driver coming back. We'll skip here. I found this interesting. Derek Cope. Remember Derek Cope? Anybody
Set
remember
to become
Yes,
the
sir.
oldest driver.
How old is he now?
62, I think. Sort of.
Oh, he's young.
Yeah,
He's young.
62, Jerry. You got it.
So he's going to try and compete in the Daytona 500 for the first time since 2004. And I believe, if I could be wrong, but like back in that early 2000s era, I believe he had a car sponsored by Poison, the band.
I have to take your word on that. I don't remember that.
They sponsored somebody. I'm pretty sure it was Derek Cope, and that's the only reason I really remember him. I was like, well, that's odd. Too bad that he didn't do very well, but that's cool. After more than 45 years of sprint car racing, Jack Hodenshield is getting ready to hang up his helmet. The 72-time World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series race winner confirmed Tuesday afternoon that he'll drive for Rico Abreu Racing in select events this year before retiring at the conclusion of the season.
How's that? His 48th season. Hod, the wild child, Jack Hodenshield. Going to go on a farewell tour. It sounds like going to be a good time. Him and Rico being good buddies and all.
But you know how retirements go for race car drivers.
He still looks like he's 14 to me, but
still looks like he's what?
Still looks like a kid. He still looks like a teenager. It's funny. We were in Knoxville a few years ago, and seen bicycle coming towards us, and I thought it was Sheldon. And it was actually Jack riding around Knoxville, T-shirt and shorts, just goofing off, having a good old, looked like a kid. And that's, when you talk to him, he still has just as much fun as he did, 20, 30 years ago. Unfortunately, Father Time catches up with us all, but it's definitely going to be a bittersweet to see the wild child this year in 2021. Hope he has a very successful year behind the wheel of the Rico Abreu Racing number 24.
So John Young confirms it was Derek Cope, and I do remember, it was like 37 was a car number on the Poison car.
Wow.
It was like purple and green and maybe some black. It looked pretty cool. I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. Anyway, moving on. The real reason, some more information has come to light about Eldora not having the truck series. I know last week we reported that it was actually Tony Stewart and Eldora's decision not to have the track or the truck series. A little bit more information on as to why that is the case came to light with Tony Stewart. I don't remember where this came from, but basically Stewart was upset about NASCAR announcing the Cup race on dirt at Bristol because he's been running the truck race for how many years now? 7, 8 years?
7 years, I believe.
7 years. He's been running the truck series race at Eldora with the intention of, in making improvements to the facility with the intention of, trying to bring an Xfinity or even a Cup race to Eldora. So he said that NASCAR didn't even discuss the possibility of hosting either of those top two series with him. And they just went with the Bristol thing. And I guess he found out about the Cup race at Bristol a couple days before the schedule went out. And when he saw that, and I guess he talked to his people there at Eldora who had the contract for this year's truck race, series race at Eldora. And he said, just tear it up. So
I read the same thing.
Yeah. So a little bit more behind the story to what happened there. And in more Tony Stewart news, and I don't know why, but he, for some reason, wanted to run the 2021 Busch Clash at Daytona, probably because it was on the road course, something a little different this year. He technically isn't qualified or eligible to run it due to the rules for the drivers that are eligible to get into the Clash. But I guess he was a little miffed there because his request to participate was ignored by NASCAR. And again, he heard nothing but crickets. And I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe there's kind of some kind of a wedge form in there. Maybe it has something to do with the superstar racing experience that Tony has started. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of a feud developing there. Tony never gets mad, though. He's cool, calm, and good.
Hey,
go ahead.
Do we have in there about what Rico Abreu will be doing in 2021?
What do you got? Is this breaking news?
I don't know how breaking is. It's been on the internet basically since the whole episode with Jack. Rico is actually going to be piloting the Silver Racing number 57 that Kyle Larson had great success with in 2020. So we'll definitely see Rico probably running side by side with Jack throughout the 2021 season.
Reigning NASCAR Xfinity Series champion Austin Cindric will look to make his NASCAR Cup Series debut next month at the Daytona 500. All these, I wonder how many people are entered, because there hasn't been too many people that have been getting bumped during the Gatorade duels, the qualifying races, because, they haven't had that many. But it sounds like with all these people entering, there may be a little bit more interest in the Gatorade duels this year, if they're still called the Gatorade duels. I don't even know. But with trying to make the race this year, it could be an interesting deal.
Right now, the speculative entry list has 45 cars listed,
and they start 40, right? I believe it's 40.
Yeah.
Oh, not too bad. There are a few drivers that aren't going to make it, but Cindric is going to drive the number 30. Excuse me. Number 33 Ford Mustang for Team Penske as he attempts to qualify for the 63rd Daytona 500. Kyle Larson is scheduled to return to late model racing this weekend. He's going to be there. Well, we already talked about this. He was second. So this is old news by now.
Actually, third quick. Josh Richards right behind Devin Brand. So,
you're keeping track of this.
Yep.
Live updates.
We're trying to keep an eye on, see how it's going.
So Kyle Larson, this is his third time racing in the late model, third weekend doing it. And he's with the number 6 late model again, owned by Jacqueline and Kevin Rumley. Yeah, it's the third weekend in the late model for Larson. He made his debut last year at Port Royal Speedway. He's been pretty successful in pretty much anything he drives, including the late models. I believe he got a win in the second race he was in, and he set the qualifying record or the track record, wherever that was.
Port Royal.
Is that where he set the track record?
Yep, he was fast right out of the gate. Whatever he gets into in 2021, he's obviously going to be a threat to win. He showed that at the Chili Bowl, and I don't expect that to change anything. Just being back in NASCAR, I think, is going to take him away from dirt.
The Cup Series is definitely going to know he's there.
Absolutely.
We'll see. If he'll be one of those 3 guys that don't make that. Well, no, he's probably got driver.
Well, he's got a charter.
Yeah.
The charter teams are guaranteed a spot. So
see, I like the olden days where nobody's guaranteed a spot.
Yeah, you had two champions provisionals, and that was it. Everybody else, had to race their way in or qualify their way in, and that's one of the things that I don't like about NASCAR. I get it that the sponsors invest a lot of money, but
and they need to keep the drivers coming back each week too. I think that's part of it. Anyway, it's time for the Big D's Pizza Wheel, and how many? Your chance to win a large pizza from Big D's Pizza. And since nobody helped me out with my lack of prep in the comments here, I'm going to come up with this week's how many. And it's going to be a number, as in a car number again, of who's going to win the Lucas Oil race on Saturday, the feature. That's this week's how many, the car number. But before we get to that, let's talk about last week's winner. We said how many races, heats, and features will Dan Dittman win Saturday at Millstream? Anybody know the answer to that?
Ooh, I do.
What is it, Felix?
That was a 0.
It was a 0. So, and surprisingly, in the comments, nobody picked 0 except for Dean Henry. So, Dean Henry, congratulations. You got yourself a Big D's Pizza. Go ahead, help yourself to that. And congratulations to Dean Henry there. As far as our show winner, all of us picked 0. So we're going to go to the Big D's Pizza Wheel and determine our in-studio, or I guess we're not really in-studio, we're in our home studios winner.
It's close enough. It's a studio.
Yeah. So we got me, Jerry, and Felix on there, a.k.a. Ron. If you're just joining us and you're curious about the Felix Fafoofnik, after we're done, go back to the beginning of the show. It was kind of explained there. Click to spin. I was like, how do I spin this thing? Here we go. Here, this is for...
Click.
We did.
Bragging rights.
Oh, there it is. Jerry is this week's winner. Congratulations, Jerry. You win nothing. You got nothing.
Okay.
Except for congratulations. Except for you get to pick first this week. So what number you got? And that kind of sucks because I kind of want to pick first.
Boy, put me on the spot. I'm cheating. 21.
Oh, okay. What do you got, Felix? 6. He's going with the the NASCAR guy.
I
Kyle
can't
Larson.
jump on that bandwagon as much as I want to.
I'm going to go with the 9.
I think it's a good pick. He's fast right out of the gate. We'll see how 2021 is for him. I think. Oh wait!
Oh,
breaking news in the.
I see this. What? Here we go. Breaking news. Jerry Keyser gets the Big D's pizza.
Now I got to go to Clyde. All right, we've got to make this happen.
It's worth it.
Absolutely.
If you want to play, and those of you that know the rules are already playing, I see in the comments, go ahead and put your just put a number in the comments in our Facebook Live video. If you're listening to us again via podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. If it's before Saturday at noon, go ahead and leave your comment in there, even though we're not live. Or you could do it now because we are live. It's so confusing. I'm like talking to people in the past and the present. And whatever number's closest, whoever guesses the right number or the closest number will win that pizza, large pizza, courtesy of Dean Henry and Big D's Pizza there in Clyde. And if we have a tie, it's okay. You can guess the same number as someone else. We'll just spin that Big D's Pizza wheel. And if you guess more than once, you get the black flag.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nobody wants the black flag because usually you get a signal from the driver that says you're number 1 when that flag is displayed. Matt probably knows all about that, I'm guessing.
You're saying that people like to tell Matt Swander he's number 1?
I think so. We'll have to ask him how many times
it's been done.
It's been done. Oh, well, let's wrap things up here. We got an upcoming race, but that's not till February 20th. We mentioned the Millstream Hangover 2 race has been postponed, so we got about a month now to get those cars ready. Again, check out millstreamspeedway.net for that latest purse.
And if you're interested in help sponsoring that race, make sure you get a hold of Scott Warner, millstreamscott@gmail.com, or hit Millstream Speedway on Facebook. Get a hold of me or Scott here on Facebook. We'll get you connected with Scott Warner, however we need to do it. Definitely looking forward to seeing a great show up there at Millstream.
Yeah, speaking of which, here, let's get his email off. There's your revised payout. $750 for the champagnes, $450 for moonshine. I know you mentioned this earlier, Jerry. $325 for the whiskey.
We can't say it enough. We want to see as much support as we can to bringing Millstream Speedway back to life. Scott Warner doing a tremendous job. Looking forward to 2021 at Millstream. It's been a long time coming and can't wait.
Yeah, look at that.
If anybody deserves Promoter of the Year award, it'd be Scott Warner, and he hasn't run a race yet.
Right? I mean, he's put together his own podcast with the help of Scott Hammer. He's doing everything he can possible to get attention on Millstream Speedway, and I'm looking forward to helping do that in 2021, and I hope that everybody else is as well. I want to see Millstream Speedway succeed and come back to life.
And it will. We just need no COVID and the weather to cooperate. That's all we need. Make sure to join us next week, 7 o'clock, for more Hammer Down Race Report. I don't have everybody scheduled for next week as of yet, but 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be talking to this coming Saturday's winner, Devin Moran. I'm predicting because that's who I put on there.
I wonder what Larry Jewett's doing next Thursday.
Well, wasn't he busy and out? I didn't post that on Facebook. I think Dave posted that and doing the announcing there. Was that on Flow he was doing the announcing for?
I think that's what it was, yeah. So
we'll
excited to see Larry's name back up. Yeah, would love to talk to him. That's someone who's got a lot of great knowledge from the days of past at Oak Shade and definitely been a part of racing for quite a while.
So this is basically how the sausage is made right here. We're having a show meeting during the show.
There you go.
Showing us. So, yeah, I like that. We'll see if we can get Larry on if he's not busy next Thursday night. I'm sure he's got all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
Thanks to Dave Kemmer for helping out. Field correspondent Matt Swander, Doug Dock, Les Hanna. Follow Les on Twitter at DirtNit. And, once again, thanks to all of our sponsors for making this show possible. Oh, yeah, I got a job, by the way. So I'm very busy now.
Yay.
I'm doing this on top of the job thing now. Can't really do this while I'm at work. Yeah, I started Monday. I got home.
All right.
I got home with just enough time to make myself something to eat and then do this. I'm still wearing my work clothes. I don't know if I like being part of the working class. The paycheck is nice. That does help. So, thanks again to Oakshade Raceway. We're the fastest meet to race. Make sure to get out and support them this summer. Real Geese Silhouette Decoys. Again, check out realgeese.com or call 419-800-8100. Mill Street Speedway. It's going to be a good year for them. I feel it.
Yes,
starting
absolutely.
February 20th. I don't know how smart it is to schedule races in the middle of winter, but you know.
Hey, they've been
Fun
doing it in
things.
Pennsylvania for years. The end of February, they have their icebreakers at Lincoln Speedway and Williams Grove. We can do it in Ohio, too, and do it better.
I was kidding. I'm excited about it.
I'm serious. I'm excited.
Big D's Pizza. Check out that Big Nut Burger and Ron Miller Race Cars, 734-856-7223. And that's it for this week. We're out of here.
We've been selling quite a bit of safety equipment lately, Scott.
I guess we're not out here. We're not out here.
2020 all the 2020 certifications are in place, and inventories are pretty good. So if you need safety equipment, now's a good time.
Use your tax return.
Get a hold of that
That's
guy
it.
right there. Check
You-
dates on your belts, your helmets,
Yeah, me.
fire suits, everything.
It looked like you were pointing at your name.
Well, I can't get to his head because my name's in the way.
All right, that's it. We're out. We'll
Close
see you next
enough,
week.
Jared.
Hopefully, we'll have Larry Jewett. He doesn't even know it yet, but we'll try and get Larry on the show. He's been around for years.
Yeah. I think Dave Kemmer's on that already.
Is he already on that? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I turned the comments off here. He might be free. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're out of here. See ya. Goodbye.
Night.
Good night.
See you guys.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.